I'm dealing with it. Yeah. No, hopefully he's not listening at all. Hopefully he is not listening at all. I had a case of the Mondays there, so I apologize, TJ, for that. But he's joining. I'm excited about that. So can't wait for Harsh Knock Life at 4:30. Legendary Lifetime Longhorn TJ Ford going to join us. But let's get your thoughts first, Harj, about Rodney Terry's introductory press conference. It's official. Something I find pretty cool. I mean, it's not a nugget or a factoid or a stat or anything, but the last two coaches now at Texas, it was, I don't even know if you could debate it, or it was almost irrefutable that both of those coaches, Chris Beard and now Rodney Terry, it was their dream to coach at Texas.
Yeah.
Because they had deep roots here and it was their dream. I know coaches say that. Hell, I think even Sark might have said that too about Texas football. I think Sark's dream might have been USC.
Yeah.
And he ended up at Texas too, so it's great. Maybe
but he was admiring from afar.
He was admiring from afar, but either way, he's a West Coast guy.
Yeah,
he's a West Coast guy, and USC's popping. So, but I'm not hating on that. I'm just saying I think I think we all know, just based on the history of Rodney Terry and then the history that we knew of Chris Beard, it was indeed their dream job.
No doubt.
If they could have chose any job in the country, those two guys probably would have chose Texas basketball over any jobs, blue bloods and crazy stuff, all that stuff included, right?
Absolutely.
So that to me is significant. I know it's not obviously something that we'll debate or anything like that, and there's no facts that I can bring up to prove it, but I do believe
the words are the facts.
I believe it when those guys said it.
Exactly.
And the people that I know who know Rodney Terry, and a lot of people around here do. Matter of fact, shout out to Chad and Zay.
Yes.
Zay's pops and dad, who's obviously the Coach Collier, longtime coach there for Bowie basketball for 20-something years.
He was there for a long time.
I wish I could. Yeah, exactly. He was there for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And at one point, he hired Rodney Terry.
Yes,
they talked about that on their show during the 11 o'clock hour. The 1 o'clock hour. 1 o'clock. The 1 o'clock hour. Go check that out because that was really, really good too. And of course, there's also the Rodney Terry introductory press conference, which is on the website. Go to hornfm.com. You can go listen to the whole thing in its entirety there. But when they posted the show, the podcast of Chad and Zay, go check out that interview. They had Coach Collier on. It was really cool talking about this stuff. I'm going to go back and listen to it as well, but Chad was talking about it, heard Zay talking about it as well. Harj, you heard it too.
Yeah.
And he got into kind of the roots of Rodney Terry. But I think that's part of his roots here are so deep. That's why it's easily explainable that this could indeed be his dream job of all jobs.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, for someone who had been in this area for a long time, went to St. Edward's University, played there, had a great career at St. Ed's, then got into the coaching ranks, whether it was for the middle school, whether it was for the high school, then he went into all these different areas. But most importantly, what Rodney said that was really, really cool to see is that he bought a home here this past year, and it was regardless of whether he was going to be coaching elsewhere, he knew that he wanted to be in the Austin area when it was all said and done. He wanted to be in Austin, Texas, regardless of if he had another job somewhere else and what was going on in his life. And for him to always state, I am where my feet are. Like, that was his statement. I am always where my feet are, but I really wanted to be here. And, God has a plan for me, and he went into all of that. And it's funny because Chris Del Conte came in and he was talking about the simple fact that he said, it's funny to me because when I would walk into the locker room, he got the nickname Rev. They started calling him Rev.
Rodney Terry?
Yeah, Rodney Terry, because of his passionate speeches in there. And it was like, we got a sermon going on when I walk in here. But you could hear the team and the following that the team was giving him. And for all those guys that were there today, the entire basketball team was there, the entire coaching staff was there, and then all the former players that came there. J.D. Lewis was there. I talked to J.D. Lewis today, and he was really excited about it himself, Brian Boddicker. I mean, they had everybody there. If you played at Texas and you had something, and Rodney touched you in some sort of way, whether it was through recruiting or whether it was through coaching, everybody made an appearance, and it was a different atmosphere than what I was expected. Because I got there a little bit early, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I got there early because there was a lot of people there.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, he's made a lot of connections with his deep roots here in Austin, also associated with the University of Texas. He talked about relationships and how important relationships had been for him. By the way, that's going to help him in recruiting, which is something that we'll get to. But let's hear from the new head coach of Texas men's basketball at the University of Texas, Coach Rodney Terry. He was asked by, I believe it's Kirk Bowles initially that had that question. Did you feel like you needed to earn the job? And when did you feel like you did enough to earn the job? Here is the response of Coach Terry.
Well, I think from the very beginning, my first conversation with CDC prior to meeting with the team, and then once we made that decision that afternoon that I was going to be coaching the team, he gave me that whistle and, and said, hey, go earn this. Go earn it and go do the job that I know you're capable of doing. And, I met with our team and just said, hey, guys, you know what? We've got the whole season in front of us. None of our goals have changed. We've got a tough Rice team tonight we have to deal with. But we're going to control what we can control, and we're going to live where our feet are, and we're going to live in the present. And we're going to try to take care of business tonight, and we'll move forward from this. But, that was the message, and again, having his support meant a great deal heading into that ball game that night.
And when did you feel confident you'd done enough?
I felt confident the whole time, to be honest with you, Kirk. I mean, I prepared my whole life for this opportunity. I'm 7 years, 27 years Division I basketball coaching, 32 years of coaching, 5 years at the high school level. I'm a proud high school basketball coach in the state of Texas. We've got great basketball coaches, by the way, in the state of Texas. So I want to give a shout out to those guys as well. But no, you're prepared. I often tell our team and our players, so many guys want opportunities in life. You have to be prepared for opportunities. I was prepared for this opportunity. And, my time at Fresno, my time at UTEP have prepared me for this opportunity. Haven't had a chance to be here during some of the best seasons of Texas basketball. No one knows this place better than me in terms of, the landscape, how to be successful here at that elite level. And, I tried to convey that to our guys and what that took. I tried to bring back former players to convey that to our guys and embrace playing at the University of Texas. We're going to get everybody's best game, right, guys? Every night, right? We may watch some games and, we're preparing for teams and there's empty arenas a little bit. But we go to that arena, what's it going to be, guys? Sold out. They're coming to see Texas, right? They're coming to see us. We're the show, right? But we embrace that. That's not arrogant. Okay, everybody can't coach at Texas. Everybody can't play at Texas. And, I've been here at the highest of highs. So, I was very confident throughout the whole process, Kirk.
There you go. Say he knew from the jump. It's my job. I am the captain now.
Yeah.
That was that I am the captain now moment.
And he had his Mac Brown moment too.
Yeah.
When he was talking about the state of Texas. We got great coaches in the state of Texas. We got great players in the state of Texas. Let me say that one more time. He had his Mac Brown moment, and
Amen.
that's how you do that. That's
smart.
how you do that.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
I was laughing. As soon as he said it, I was sitting there looking at him. I was like, that boy recruiting. That boy recruiting. That boy recruiting.
Always be recruiting.
Exactly.
ABC, always be recruiting.
No doubt.
And that's a great point. It's exactly who he was talking to. That was a message to all the high school coaches out there. Hey, here's y'all shout out just in case y'all needed it. That's a great point there.
And talk about always being recruiting. He was telling Craig afterwards. He was like, they're like, what are we doing after Cristo Conte left? He was like, I was on the phone.
Yeah.
He was like, I was talking to some people on the transfer portal. I was talking to some people recruits.
Yeah.
He's like, I was working.
So I love that confidence. He seems like he is confident.
He is that guy.
Yeah.
As the kids say nowadays, he is him.
He talked about how being prepared for the moment, and I love that little nugget there, Patrick, that, as soon as he got done with this, got on them phones.
Now, because the conversation is different.
Well, and now
the interim is off me.
Yeah, and the buzz now, he's got a lot of buzz. I mean, that buzz is going to die down in like a week or so because we'll have the Final Four and national championship for college basketball. Then the season will be over. We'll shift to NBA and their postseason, and then Texas football with spring practice. It won't be as big of a story as it is now.
Yep.
Why it's a big story now, and while you're trending, hey man, hit that guy up. You know what I mean? And say, hey man, just so you know, I know it's a lot of buzz about me. I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
I'm on that podium right now thinking, if I'm gonna go to the Final Four, I need to call this guy.
Right.
You know, I was thinking about you when I was up there.
Yeah.
Oh man, recruiting is. I think recruiting's easy.
It
I always thought I was like, man, at Texas, it's really tough at Texas State. no, nothing against Texas State. You know what I'm saying? But at Texas, you offer so much.
Yeah, you do.
There's so much to offer.
Yeah, it is.
I mean,
and I saw all the things that could be offered today at that press conference.
Me and you were both recruited by Texas, so we know it. We both decided that Texas is the spot.
That's where the spot to be.
Yeah. And you went to the
back
the only thing that was better for you was the league.
Yeah.
Was the major. You're like, I gotta go get this bread.
Yeah.
And if the NIL was here, you probably would have
got that bread.
You got that. So just say, I'm not saying that these guys are doing a great job, but I think Rodney Terry understands. He's been around long enough to know, hey man.
Yeah.
If I focus on these relationships that I've built over these, what do you say, 27 years at college level, 32 years overall.
Yeah.
Man, he really can kill it on the recruiting trail. And right now, Texas, like I said, there's a lot of buzz about the program, and he's a big part of why there's a lot of buzz about the program.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And kind of like what you've talked about before, it's cool to come to Texas as a basketball player, just like it's cool to come to Texas as a football player. It's cool to come to Texas as a baseball player. You have a lot of opportunities, and there's so many options out there for you here at this university. Like I said, when I walked into that room today and I got a chance to see all those former players come back with the respect that they have for Rodney Terry. That goes a long way. When you look at the jersey that they held up, number 35, oh, yeah, they did that on purpose. That's that KD jersey. You know what I'm saying? That's that KD jersey.
Yeah, they got a lot of the player support.
Exactly.
The family's all about it.
The family's there.
The family's all about it. No, you're right. I talked to some boosters, actually some donors who also ecstatic about the move because they also have a relationship with Rodney Terry because he's been around.
Because he's been around for a long time.
He's been around for a long time. They're comfortable with him. They know that this is a guy he's got a vision.
Yes, he does.
He's been preparing for the moment, so you know he's got a vision for the program. I can't wait to see exactly what it is.
And he told us exactly what it's going to be as far as what kind of team he has and what kind of team he wants to run with and what is he expected out of this group. He's expecting a lot out of this group and the next group. And one of the questions, our boy, Chip Brown, my boy Chip
Brown, baby.
He he asked the question. He was like, all right, I'm going to put you on the spot right now. Let me put you on the spot right now. What are you going to do as far as your staff, and what are you going to do as far as recruiting some of the players to stay here? He said it right there. And Rodney goes, damn, Chip. You just going to ask me that right now, man? And you know Chip going to ask you. And Rodney gave a great answer, talked about, hey, I'm doing all that already. Okay. I'm having a meeting with the team. I'm going to have a meeting with those players. As soon as we get done here, I'm going to have a meeting with my staff and try to see what we're going to do. To me, it seems like a lot of the staff, just by watching, you know me, man, I try to pay attention to everything and look around the room to see what's going on. It looks like the staff seems to be on board with Rodney as well.
Well, he's a relationship guy.
That's
He's
exactly
talked about
right.
that. If you're a relationship guy,
Yes.
I mean, you can even, obviously in the midst of a lot of turnover and change, and this is good change. I don't know why any of the guys wouldn't give him, the benefit of the doubt. But they may get other opportunities.
They're definitely going to get
Chris
other
Beard,
opportunities.
I'm sure, is
Yes.
going to try to recruit some of these guys. He's got a new opportunity there. We know Chris
100%.
Beard is a hell of a coach as well.
He's a hell of a recruiter.
And he's a hell of a recruiter. Yeah. And he went through some challenging times, which we all do. But he's looking to bounce back. And this is the staff that he put together. He knew Rodney Terry was a hell of a coach.
Yep.
That's
why he was first on the bench.
Exactly.
He was number one.
He knew he was a hell of a coach. And now we're finding that out because of what he's been able to do with this team. And this is one of the best stories in college basketball. I love this tweet from the texter here on the Specs text line 512-337-3776. One of the quotes from Rodney Terry. It was a great quote. We are the show.
It is.
To talk about, hey, not everybody can coach at Texas. Not everybody can play at Texas. That, by the way, says nothing about your character. It's not an indictment on you as an athlete or a player or a coach. But not everybody is designed for
everybody ain't built
the
for
brand, play for the brand that is the University of Texas, because it is a little different.
Yep.
I mean, we know that. Come the Dallas Cowboys, unfortunately, of college football at times.
One of my good friends, former teammate of mine, and I've talked about this before, Steve Rodriguez, first base coach at the University of Texas, former head coach at Baylor. Nothing against Baylor, nothing against Cal State Fullerton, nothing against Pepperdine, none of that stuff. He told me, I asked him flat out, I said, hey, man, what's it like? He said, man, wearing this burnt orange, people look at you differently. Like, they will talk to you a lot faster than me walking in with a different color on. Mm-hmm. And he didn't understand it. You don't ever understand it until you're here. And then you see it, especially if you're on the staff. So people have a different respect. And he told me that flat out himself. He said, I didn't know. No. I didn't know. Because you were competing against it.
It gets both.
Yeah.
It gets both. It gets a lot of respect, but a lot of disrespect.
Absolutely.
It gets a lot of attention. It gets a lot of good attention and a lot of bad attention.
Tonight it will get the bad attention.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's going either way. Ask the Aggies. Aggies are like, oh, yeah, we'll give you attention, all right?
Exactly.
So it gets both, but you got to be prepared for that.
Absolutely.
You got to have people who want to be a part of the brand and understand that comes with the territory, and they embrace it.
Yep, no doubt.
Sometimes it means being a villain or being seen as that, and that's got to be cool with you.
That's why you can't or you can.
Yeah. Like I said, there are two types of Texas athletes pretty much. There are some people that come here to play at Texas, and there are some that come to play for Texas.
Yep.
And they are very different. All right, the ones that are playing for Texas, they are here to see what they can do for the university, how they can help the university, how they can leave it better than they found it. The guys who came to play at Texas, they just all about the gram. They're here for the South by Southwest tickets. Can I get that ACL hookup? Oh, what? You mean I can get that the move tickets? Hey, where my NIL money at? Yep. Can I get all that? What can you do for me?
No doubt.
Rather than what they can do for the university. And I'm sure Rodney Terry's recruiting the guys who come to play for Texas, not come to play at Texas.
Correct.
Rodney Terry is a guy that's coaching for Texas, not coaching at Texas, and there also is a difference. Here is Coach Terry when he was asked about his previous head coaching experience and the wisdom that has been gained as a result, and how he is going to he's going to use that knowledge to help him in his current head coaching job as the new head coach at the University of Texas. Here's Coach Terry.
That's a great question. I think a lot of times the 10 years that I was a head coach there, you're literally just working so hard. And I went into situations where they were total rebuilds. And so, even as you got the program where you wanted it, you still were just fighting every day to continue to try to keep the program there. And I think I never really got a chance to enjoy it. As you were building it and you had a level of success, you still just really didn't enjoy it. I had a lot of great mentors that I lean on every single day. Jerry Wainwright gave me an opportunity at Wilmington. Harry Miller gave me my first opportunity at Baylor University. And obviously Rick. But those guys always said to me, "Hey, enjoy the moment, enjoy the ride." And it sounds a whole lot easier than they actually do. But having a chance to step back that 1 year, it put a lot of things in perspective. And I vowed to myself that if I got another opportunity to be a head coach, I was gonna be Rodney Terry. Guys called me RT, and they were gonna see a whole different side of me. I was gonna have fun. I was gonna enjoy every day. I was gonna smile. I was gonna not always, we're gonna coach hard, hold guys accountable, but I'm gonna enjoy the process doing that. I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna joke with my guys, and they get a chance to see the real RT. Some of my teams, early on, especially in Fresno and some at UTEP, didn't see the real RT, because it was so driven hard in terms of, wanting to be successful and wanting the guys or wanting our teams to be really good. I don't think I got a chance to do that. But I said this time my demeanor was going to be totally different. I was going to be more poised, more calm, and handle our guys a lot differently in terms of being a leader. And I thank God for giving me that opportunity and giving me a chance to make that change. So that's been the biggest change for myself in terms of working with this team in particular.
It's a great comment there, and I love this texter. Kind of puts a little bit of a bow on the discussion that we've been having here about Coach Terry. I'm glad Terry is the guy. I never feel like I'm being BS'd when I hear him. I bet parents feel the same way when they consider sending their sons to UT. Yeah, there's an authenticity to him. There's an element of him just being very genuine. It does feel that way. We could all be being BS. We don't necessarily know, but you do feel like Coach Terry's been around a long time. I've never heard anything bad about Coach Terry at all. As a matter of fact, people go out of their way to say very complimentary things about Coach Terry as a person, as a human being. So I'm happy for him, happy for the Texas basketball team, happy for the Texas program as well. Also, my man Patrick Davis getting a lot of love. Chan says, glad you're back. Also, getting another text says, glad to have you back, Pat. So Everybody's glad to have my man
No
Patrick
doubt,
back.
no doubt.
The heart and soul of this damn thing. Also, my man CB, who's always working hard for us, he says he wants to put a TJ Ford statue at the Mood for the greatest player in Texas basketball history. He deserves it. Well, speaking of TJ Ford, the legendary Lifetime Longhorn, we got an update.
We do. We had to call an audible. I know we don't always call audibles in football.
Omaha.
Yeah, we got to check at the line. Get with me. Get with me. We moved him up an hour. TJ Ford will join us when we come back from the break. Legendary Lifetime Longhorn TJ Ford will join us right here on Ball Don't Lie. 3:30. Stick around for it, baby.
All right, welcome back to Ball Don't Lie right here on 104.9 The Horn. Top of the charts Tuesday. We play jams that reach the top of the Billboard charts on this day in history. A little Otis Redding for you. Nice. There was always a myth, kind of a legend around the locker room at Texas that Corey Redding and Otis Redding were related somehow. I don't even know if it's true.
I was going to say, do you know?
We don't know if it's true. I've never confirmed it or been able to refute it. Yeah, I mean, it was always like a random thing. I was like, is that true? And I don't know if he ever with Corey I've had that conversation with. So hopefully he's listening right now. He'll text me like, hell no, that's not true, or it is true. And I'm like, oh, that'd be great. Let's talk about something that we know is fact. My man Harge knows every damn body, and he brings on very special guests from his extensive contact list, and he's got a really cool one on the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline. What you got for us, Howard?
Oh, man, this one is a legend. He got his number retired at the University of Texas. It's up in the rafters. No one will ever wear the number 11 again. He is one T.J. Ford Sr. T.J. Ford Sr. T.J., what's up, brother? How you doing?
What's going on, man? How you guys doing?
It's a beautiful day around the 40 acres today, isn't it, my brother?
Great day, man. It was a really great day, right? Really, really good day. Watching RT being able to officially be announced, as our head basketball coach, and, signing a nice size contract for the next 5 years. And, watching the players be able to support him and be there. And, man, it was a good day for him. Really, really, really good day.
And TJ, you've been around him for quite some time. Obviously, he was here when you were here at the university. He's done a great job recruiting long before he was named the head coach at the University of Texas. He's been an integral part to the success of this program for quite some time. And when everything happened in December, and for him to get the opportunity, he said he felt like he had been built for this opportunity. He had been around it. He knows the University of Texas from his time with Coach Barnes and the relationships he had forged in this area. It was only the right thing for the university to look at him and say, yeah, this is our guy, because he understands what it's like to be a Texas Longhorn.
I mean, of course, most of the great years he was there, part of that success, and a major contributor to the success of the years during that era when he was assistant coach. And just knowing the landscape in the state of Texas, and, he's done pretty well as a head coach at Fresno State and then at UTEP. So, he's coming in with a lot of experience, of being in a position of head coach and having the opportunity to, come back and be part of the staff and then have to take full control and keep our players engaged, keep them on track, keep them focused, allow these young men to grow. I think, this is definitely something these guys are going to remember, how resilient they was. And I think it helped develop a lot of strong men in that locker room. So obviously you can see the appreciation of all the players that showed up to the attendance and showed them a lot of love. And they're the reason that, at the end of the day, they are the reason he have the job and the position that he's in now, because they dedicated themselves to him. They gave him his all, and they didn't miss a beat.
Being joined right now on the Vaqueros Cafe and Canteen hotline by a legendary lifetime Longhorn, T.J. Ford, also former NBA player as well. Hey, T.J., you've been around a lot of basketball at every level. You've seen a lot of coaching. What sets Coach Terry apart? What in his coaching skill set is for him can be something that separates him from other coaches that you have had experience with?
He just bleed burnt orange. That's just the obvious. A guy that was a head coach, decided to minimize his leadership to be an assistant coach, to show his appreciation, his commitment, his love for the university. I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
When you look at what we saw, we wanted to build a culture. We have somebody that came back to be part of a culture that he understands. And like I said, he dealt with, great adversity that was a big blow in college sports, and being able to get us to Elite Eight. So I think when you look at the players and you look at guys perform, I mean, guys definitely got better throughout the entire season. Guys had different moments where they, led us in points, assists, rebounds. We had games where different players won big games for us. So through it all, those guys stuck together, stayed together, and that's a credit to Rodney Terry and the coaching staff.
Yep. We're talking to lifetime Longhorn TJ Ford. And TJ, we got a chance to talk a little bit, and I saw you with a lot of people that came back and was happy to be around when they made the announcement and obviously the press conference today. What does that mean what does it seem like for him with all the people that was there, the support that he has? I told Patrick and Rod when I got there, I was like, I haven't seen that many people at a press conference for someone like that in a very, very long time. It just shows the love and affection and the belief from the higher-ups for not being able to go out there and look around, but understanding that what we have here is right in our backyard with Rodney Terry.
Rodney Terry put himself in the best situation, right? He won games, and like he said today, it was a dream job for him, dream opportunity, and he wasn't going to let that slip out of his palm. So I think a lot of people was kind of, trying to figure out what would be next, who would be our coach, but those guys did not let any of that stuff affect them, and they just concentrated, on the game of basketball, and that was the most important thing is getting on the basketball court, performing, putting a good style of basketball out there and winning games. And they was able to do all the above.
Hey, TJ, Coach Terry said he knew he was the man for the job as soon as he got the job. CDC basically said he knew he was the man for the job after the Rice game, essentially, so it didn't take him long. When did you know Coach Terry was the man for the job to be the next head coach at Texas?
That's a loaded question there.
My bad. My bad.
I don't know how to answer that question. I think the question is being able to just support him and being there. No different than any other coaches. What makes this different is I have a real personal relationship with Rodney Terry over 20-plus years. So that makes things a little different from that perspective. You just wanted to be able to support and give him the vehicles and the tools that he needed to go out there and be successful and concentrate, on a team and win games. Like I said, he has his own experience. He's put the time in his career to be able to show that he's one hell of a coach. And he proved that. He proved that, you have the resources and you have the players, and you can be honest with them. He spent a lot of time recruiting a lot of these players, talking to a lot of these players. So I think the player-coach relationship was more important. I think, for me, my view is all about, how the players perceive somebody and how the players are interacting with their coach. And, they did that. Obviously, they had a great start to the conference tournament. They had, conference play. Then they had a couple of games where things we lost a couple of games, and they was able to pick it back up here and go on a run. So, my statement is documented. So, I don't know when I tweeted what I tweeted, but I tweeted that that's my coach. So, yeah, go back. Tell me the date on that.
All right, for sure.
Yeah, we know exactly that you tweeted that here just recently for sure, and now we've got it all official. Coach Terry was named the head coach at the University of Texas last night. He had an introductory press conference today. A lot of former players. LaMarcus Aldridge was there. Obviously, TJ Ford, J.D. Lewis, Brian Boddicker. You just had everybody that was in the house excited to see Coach Terry be announced as the head coach. But I wanted to ask you about what's going on with you, your son, and I know little TJ the third, I guess, right? Any TJ the third?
No, he's a junior.
Oh, okay. TJ Jr. out there getting after it, too. What's his situation and what's his recruiting looking like?
He got a few schools looking at him. Obviously, we'll go back out here and play in this April's a live period, so college coaches can, put their eyes on him a few more times and give him the best chance to figure out his direction of what school he'll be able to go to and be attending. But I feel really good about it. He'll be a Division I basketball player and on some program going into next season. So things are going well for him. You know, he has been. You know, he's been enjoying the experience. He's been enjoying the challenges that come with it. But you know, ultimately, he is trying to make it. You know, he's trying to make a name for himself, and he's also trying to make sure that, you know, it's his 10 toes and his 10 hands that is going to get the job done. And I'm just putting him in a position to be able to do that. And I think his game is getting better. He's developed. And I think some coaches are going to be able to see that he can really play.
Well, they know that them genes are lined up properly, so the work is going to be there. There's no doubt about that.
Hey, TJ, I got one more question for you before we let you go. All right, you're considered a legendary lifetime Longhorn, all right, the greatest basketball player in the history of Texas basketball. So you're on the Mount Rushmore. Could you name 3 others to be on the Mount Rushmore with you, or are you too loaded? Too loaded of a question. Let me know.
I mean, you got Slater Martin, you got Kevin Durant. Those 2 obviously. You talking about Texas basketball?
All right. Okay. So all right. So you got one more spot. You gonna give me one more? Or you get what? Give me one more. You can go coach too if you want to.
Man, that's a tough.
Yeah. You know what? We'll take 3 out of 4.
I have to go down the list, though. I mean, so I don't. Oh man, Mount Rushmore. I mean, is LaMarcus Aldridge on there?
Ooh,
there you go.
See, it's when you get down to that 4th spot. That 4th spot's tough.
I mean, it just depends. If you talk, I mean, it's kind of hard because I would have to go back and really look at who did what. If we just talking about what they did in college.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
definitely college.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about
so,
for sure.
You know, I mean, what you call it has to be up there. I know his name doesn't get mentioned a lot, but he definitely has to be in there somewhere up in there. Why am I saying Reggie Freeman? But I'm not thinking Reggie Freeman. I'm thinking
Terrence Rencher.
T.
Terrence Rencher. Yep, Coach.
T. Rench.
Yeah.
He still has records at the university.
Oh yeah, no, I had class with T. Rench back when I came back to school from the league. I love T. Rench, man.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's not a good question for me. I mean, I need to ask you that question.
Hey, I couldn't figure out the 4th spot, so I asked you. But I like your 3 out of 4. You good? And you already on there, so
I didn't get to watch I didn't get to watch these guys as much as you probably got to watch them in
That's
college.
what's up. That's what's up.
That's true.
Yeah, man.
True.
Hey, I appreciate you, TJ. I'm sorry for the loaded questions, man.
That would be bad. Yeah, that would be bad for me because I didn't watch everybody perform. You know, so I don't really know the real answer to that.
now you're a true Longhorn,
and you're 3. I mean, you got no choice. We got 3 retired jerseys, so that's just automatic.
Exactly.
Somebody just hit us on the text line and said Johnny Moore.
Johnny Moore, okay.
Yep.
Johnny Moore. Like I said, I don't know the history statistically record. I'm familiar with all the guys because I know them, but like I said, I didn't really see a lot of these guys play.
Yeah. Hey, TJ, one more question before we let you go, because since you and Coach Terry are both from that H-Town area, also from H-Town, how long have you known Coach Terry? Like, when was the first time you had any interaction with Coach Terry?
When he got hired to be a coach at University of Texas.
So soon as he got on.
20 years ago.
Soon as he got on, he hit you up, huh? Yeah. Smart man. He knows how to recruit then.
Yeah, he's in charge of that recruitment. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, he came in. Listen, when RT came in, I was already signed, right?
Okay.
I came in as a freshman. Once Rob Lanier recruited me. I don't think Rodney was there my first year. I think he was I know he was there my sophomore year.
Okay.
I think he took the place of he took the place of Brian Cousins, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah, 19, 20 years ago, is when me and RT kicked it off. Just think about how young he was as being a assistant coach on that can recruit players. So,
yeah.
Man, it's just good to see it, man. It's good to see somebody who has that same desire, that same feel for the University of Texas, man. And we had a lot of success there. It changed a lot of our lives, changed his life, just being able to go off and be a head coach somewhere. So, to continue to have somebody that the University of Texas impacted his life as well, I just think that's what it's about, being able to impact the next generation of players, and use all the resources that we have to, engage these guys to make sure that they long-term could be successful even when they're not at the University of Texas.
Amen, brother.
Love it.
Well said.
Well, it's always good catching up with you, TJ. I will be in touch. You need to bring your basketball teams back to Austin so my son can continue to play with y'all. We'll get that thing going again. We'll talk some more. But we appreciate you as always, my man.
All right. Y'all be good.
Thanks, TJ. Legendary lifetime Longhorn. And, I don't know when my man CB wants a statue in the mood.
Yeah, we need to get that there.
You can get that done.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. Yeah,
and that was a great question, too, because if a player that played at the University of Texas can only name a few because there's so many great players. Chris Clack, LaSalle Thompson's getting some love. Johnny Moore's getting some love. T. Wrench got some love.
T. Wrench.
I mean, there's a lot. And don't forget Lance Blanks. You know what I'm saying? They was up there scoring.
I think that fourth spot is tough.
It is.
I think,
besides the two main
it's KD and TJ.
For sure.
But he's right about that.
Yeah.
That's I thought I wanted to get his thoughts on it. He's a GOAT, so he doesn't think about those types of things. We think about that stuff. He's right. He's like, I should ask you that. He's like,
exactly.
I'm glad he turned the tables on me.
That's right.
One thing about them tables, they do tend to turn. All right, we come back. We'll get into the flex on the other side. Good interview with legendary lifetime Longhorn TJ Ford. So shout out to my man Harge for arranging that one. All right, we come back. We'll get into flex on the other side right here on Ball Don't Lie on 104.9 The Horn.
Today was a big day at the University of Texas for Coach Terry, and you want to make sure you have a big night tonight. That's why you got to holler at my friends over at Blue Chew. Blue Chew is always coming in first place. Let me explain to you how Blue Chew works. It is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredient as Viagra and Cialis, but it's in a chewable form, and it's got a kind of minty taste to it. That's right. Your boy took some himself, and let me tell you, I've always been a home run hitter. Now I got that extra confidence I need. You can do this. You can go online and you'll get an online prescription. You get no doctor office visits, no awkward conversation, no waiting in lines for the pharmacy, and it ships right to your front door in a discreet package. Let me tell you, the process is real simple. All you do is consult. You go to BlueChew.com. You consult with an online medical professional, and once you're approved, the prescription comes to your house within days. You don't like swallowing pills? Don't worry about it. It's in a chewable form, so you can always have that time to get ready. So if you want that extra benefit to perform at a very high level, visit BlueChew.com. And for today, you get the promo code. You use the promo code HARDBALL at checkout, and you'll just pay $5 for shipping. That is BlueChew.com, promo code HARDBALL, all one word, and you'll get that first month free. Visit BlueChew.com so you can knock it out the park.
All right, welcome back to Ball Don't Lie right here on 104.9 The Horn. That's right, folks. It is a Top of the Charts Tuesday. It's my man Patrick. Plays jams that reached the top of the Billboard charts on this day in history. It's a beautiful thing. Always takes me back. And my favorite musically themed day of the week. Also getting a lot of shout-outs for my man Patrick on the Specs text line, welcoming him back and saying glad to have him back. We're glad to have him back, too. So hit my man Patrick up via Twitter at It's Patrick Davis. You also can hit him up on the Specs text line at 512-337-3776. Harge is at Hardball Harge in the Twitterverse, and I am at Rod Babers in the Twitterverse. Go to FLXATX.com. You can go catch up with all the great content from the Flex fam up there as well. Speaking of the Flex fam, you will have tomorrow the All Flex show. I haven't heard anything of that they're going to reschedule anything. We don't have any other prior commitments or obligations, so you will get your Flex fix tomorrow with our Wednesday night Flex, unless I'm told otherwise, and I'll let you know. We'll update you if that's the case. But go to FLXATX on all of your social media platforms, FLXATX.com as well. Also, I would encourage everybody to go to hornfm.com, and up there is the Rodney Terry introductory press conference in its entirety. It's worth a listen for you. It was really good, kind of a feel-good moment for all Longhorn fans out there. We just had TJ Ford on. He talked about it as well.
And he also talked about high school coaches in the state of Texas. So you high school coaches, he sees what you are doing. Make sure you talk to Rodney Terry, because he is always looking for the kids in the state of Texas to make sure that happens. And tonight, your boy Hardball Harge will be at a hardball game. I will be checking out Anderson taking on Westlake tonight over at Westlake High School. So
Nice.
I will be in attendance tonight.
My man Harge starting to do some scouting.
That's right. I got to start checking out these, like
The high
Rodney
school
out
levels.
there recruiting. I'm trying to see who's recruiting as well.
I like that. Yeah, you high school coaches have an advocate now in office, if you will, in terms of basketball with Rodney Terry, because he himself was a high school coach.
That's right.
And takes a lot of pride in that, too, and talks about that. And as a matter of fact, Coach Collier, Zay's dad, who's the longtime coach over there at Bowie for, man, I'm 20-something. I got to go look it up. But it's a long time, 20-something years, I believe it was. He was a coach there. And at one time, he hired a young Coach Terry.
And saw the ambition in his eyes.
So
That's
go
right.
check out hornfm.com. It's on the podcast page. As soon as those guys got that podcasted, and it's in the 1 o'clock hour. I believe it is the 1 o'clock hour. Their interview with Coach Collier talking about Coach Terry. It was really good. I'm going to go back and check it out. Either I've just actually heard how fantastic it was. Harge heard it, and I heard some other people mentioning it. So worth a listen for you as well. And it kind of links to the Flex family. So go check that out. hornfm.com, but also go check out FLXATX.com. All right, we come back. Lots of NFL stories to get to. We did bump an NFL segment for TJ Ford, but he's a legendary lifetime Longhorns. They have that privilege. Anytime a legendary lifetime Longhorn calls this show, they can bump any damn segment they want to. That's the rules. All right? If you're a legend, that's part of your legendary status. All right. So he did that, and he bumped the Cowboys segment. But we got to cram the Cowboys segment into the 4 o'clock. So the Cowboys maybe leaving the door cracked for Zeke to come back. Yeah, I know. Also, they're working on re-signing what I think is a crucial piece for the Cowboys. And there's a lot of buzz about the Cowboys drafting Longhorns. We'll get into that. But then there's the Aaron Rodgers trade update, and the Lamar Jackson sweepstakes has unveiled a new chapter, which features the rapper Meek Mill.
Come on.
I wish I was making that up. We'll come back and discuss it right here on Ball Don't Lie on 104.9 The Horn. All right, welcome back to Ball Don't Lie right here on 104.9 The Horn. Oh, man, there's so many different NFL stories to get to. We're going to have to kind of do kind of a scatter shooting thing here and try to hit as many of them as we can. If we don't get to all of them, I'll hit some of them in Rod's Round the Day in the 5 o'clock during the 5:30 segment. Also, it is Top of the Charts Tuesday. That's when my man Patrick plays jams. I reached the top of the Billboard charts on this day in history, one of my favorite musically themed days of the week. Also, we're off at 5:45, so we're here for a good time, but not a long time. Texas baseball coming up at 5:45, and they get to play them Aggies. Ooh, what a beautiful thing. And they're on a winning streak. Oh, yeah. Ooh. 14 straight.
14.
Trying to make it 15 straight. Going up against an Aggie squad coming off a difficult series versus Tennessee?
Yes, it was. Tennessee.
Wasn't pretty.
It was not.
But this will be the first test for Texas on the road in a long time. Matter of fact, how long is it?
March 5th.
They've been at home since March 5th.
Yeah.
They've been at home for a month, basically.
A month.
So, and now, not only they got to go on the road, they go on the road and probably for them, because it's a rivalry, arguably one of the 3 most hostile places that you could play if you're Texas.
Exactly.
In any sport.
Exactly.
You go into Aggie land.
You go into Aggie land.
Yeah, at least you're confident.
And they are going to be waiting for you.
Oh, yeah. And don't they have a winning streak going versus Texas baseball right now?
Yeah.
They've won like 4 straight.
Actually, our man CB sent it to us just a little while
Was
ago.
it? Shout out to my man CB, our
despite
unofficial producer.
Despite the Aggie struggles of late, this is a huge game for Texas because they've lost 4 straight and 7 out of 10.
I didn't realize it's 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Including being eliminated in Omaha to the Aggies.
Yeah. So it is a big game for them because it is their first big test after starting off the season a little slow. They struggled a little bit, found their way, but they found their way in the friendly confines of UFCU in front of the fantastic Texas baseball fans, just re-energizing that group with a ton of support and infusing them with confidence. And now they're playing like a ranked team, which they are, but last time they went on the road, it wasn't pretty.
Nope.
So
we'll see what happens.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah. We'll see. All right. We'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. Also, we'll get back to the Rodney Terry introductory press conference audio, and if we do have time, we'll squeeze in some Texas Texas spring football nuggets. If we don't, then we'll just table that conversation. I promise we'll get that to you. But today's a short show, so we got to be judicious about what we get to. All right. There's a ton of NFL stuff to get to. Let's start with the Cowboy stuff, and then we'll work our way from, the local stuff to the national stuff. And obviously national has more to do with Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson. And yes, Meek Mill, the rapper, has made an appearance in the headlines about Lamar Jackson. And those headlines, but they get more and more bizarre, it seems, by the day. So we'll get to that coming up. But let's start with the Cowboys because this story was a little surprising, but it shouldn't have been surprising. It was, but it shouldn't have been. So apparently there is still hope. They keeping hope alive, as Jesse Jackson would say. The Cowboys apparently are still leaving the door open, cracked ever so slightly, that Ezekiel Elliott could return. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
This is what, I actually was a little surprised by this, but Mike McCarthy told NFL media, we got the owners' meetings going on, all the NFL head coaches are talking, and they got a lot of audio and a lot of quotes coming out of those meetings. But Mike McCarthy said this about Ezekiel Elliott: I don't want to ever leave him hanging, or fans hanging, or anybody. He said, but I wouldn't take any possibility off the table. And then they was asking if Zeke was willing to take a pay cut, and if the Cowboys never offered him or something like that. And Stephen Jones went on to say, sorry, that was Stephen Jones. I apologize. That was Stephen Jones, not Mike McCarthy. Stephen Jones' quote was, I don't ever want to leave him hanging, or fans hanging, or anybody, but I wouldn't take any possibility off the table. So he left the door open that they could still bring Zeke back in.
And that was the story that we had initially when everything was happening. I kept saying, they're not going to just let Zeke walk away scot-free. And what I mean by that is no other team. He may have some offers by other teams, and we've heard the same thing that's been happening. We're not looking. And it's like, okay. But then all of a sudden you hear, well, there's still that possibility of us bringing them in. And I think the possibility of them bringing them back is the fact of what they do in the draft.
That's the biggest. I agree. That's the biggest factor.
The factor is what they do in the draft. Because if nobody's going to pick him up and he's still around, he's still a Cowboy. You know what I'm saying? And Emmitt Smith has come out and was very upset with the way that they did Zeke, but you know why? Because he got done that way. So he's still harboring those feelings of, man, I don't want to see Zeke in another uniform, just like I didn't want to be in that Arizona Cardinals uniform.
Oh, that was ugly.
Yeah, it was bad.
That was bad.
And it was probably one of his worst years that he ever had playing football. Because he was miserable because he wasn't in Dallas.
Yeah, without that O-line.
Without that O-line, yeah.
Different image without that O-line.
Ooh, boy.
He looked geriatric out there without that O-line. I'm with you. I think it is based on what the Cowboys do in the draft. And speaking of the draft, I was looking at Pro Football Network, and they do a lot of mock drafts. I mean, it's mock season. I'm a bit of a mock slut. I'll look at anybody's mock. And they claim, at least one of their insiders claims, that they did an unofficial survey of the mock drafts on Pro Football Network the last week, and most of the mock drafts there have the Cowboys taking Bijan Robinson. He's become very popular. Pick for the Cowboys at 26.
Remember, the story was when he was up in Dallas that time and he was hanging out with Zeke, and little did they know it was foreshadowing. Bye, Zeke. Hi, Bijan.
Like I said, if he's there, I could see the Cowboys doing it. That would affect their decision to bring Zeke back possibly.
Exactly.
But, I mean, the Cowboys are going to draft a running back in the draft. Whether they end up drafting him in the first round or drafting that running back in the third, fourth round, fifth round even, we don't really know. They'll draft a running back in the draft, no question. And I don't think they should bring Zeke back, just for the record. There's no point in it. This is all about, it would be almost, ceremonial in a sense to bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
For what? It's a waste of a roster spot. You can go draft Rojo then. Just draft Rojo as your Zeke replacement.
Well,
it'll be
that's
cheaper.
the other part. Yes, that's the part of the draft that I was talking about. If they don't get Bijan in that high pick, and you get to the second and third and fourth round, and Rojo's there, which I don't think he gets past the third, to be quite honest with you.
Rojo?
Yeah, I don't think Rojo gets past the third.
A lot of buzz about Rojo right now.
Yeah. And his mentality, his leadership skills, the way he'll come in and work, and you're basically getting him for cheap. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to get a lot of production from him because that's who he is. That dude's not afraid to do special teams for you. So it goes back to your position where you're talking about, hey, get another roster spot. Well, you can use him in multiple phases. You can use Rojo in multiple phases because that's who he is. So I'm looking at him. I don't think he gets past the third. And if the Cowboys are there in the third round and they're looking for that pick, they better jump on him.
They could. Yeah, this running back draft is deep, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Kendre Miller. I mean, Bijan,
Rojo. You tell us the numbers every day.
There'll be so many good running backs coming out in this draft. I mean, it's just tons of them.
Yeah.
I mean, there really are. So the Cowboys will get them a quality back. But I'm with you. I think Rojo will perform. I'll say this right now. I do think the Cowboys might end up drafting a Longhorn.
Yeah.
I think
Which is shocking.
There's just so many that are ideal for them. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing all these articles over at Blogging the Boys. They do a really good job over there just covering the Cowboys. They do a lot of articles, thought experiments, hypothetical stuff. And sometimes they got inside information that they use. But they have written multiple articles where they're listing Longhorns potentially as draft picks for the Cowboys. They were predicting Dan Quinn type guys at each position. And one of the guys they predicted at linebacker was a Dan Quinn type guy was DeMarvion Overshown.
Love it.
And he is.
He is. He's perfect.
And he admitted that he met with, or at least he was asked who he met with, and he said the Cowboys were one of the teams that he met with and that he loved the vision that Dan Quinn had for him, which makes perfect sense because Dan Quinn believes in positionless football, probably has the best positionless football defense in all of the NFL, and they actually do need linebacker depth, and they like linebackers who add some versatility.
Agile.
He's a hybrid. He can run sideline to sideline. I do think DeMarvion Overshown fits kind of a Dan Quinn type guy because he likes hybrid players. But then Rojo, we've talked about it nauseam. Rojo would be a perfect Cowboy. We just talked about a lot of the mock drafts. Most of them have the Cowboys taking Bijan in the first round. Hell, Keandre Coburn, they haven't. Matter of fact, this story is perfect because I was just talking about how the Cowboys were working on signing a crucial piece. Well, that crucial piece was Jonathan Hankins.
Yeah.
They're working on re-signing him. They haven't done it yet. I don't know if this is going to be, I'm assuming it's going to be a short-term deal, so a 1-year deal, maybe a 2-year deal with an opt-out after 1 year. Either way, I mean, Jonathan Hankins is crucial. The two most important pieces for the Cowboys' rush defense last season was Jonathan Hankins and Leighton Vander Esch. And remember, they made that Jonathan Hankins deal because they need, what I always tell you, my theory, every defense in the NFL needs a plunger, basically. Every house needs a plunger, and usually you don't think about it until the fit hits the shan, literally, and then you realize that's the most important thing in this house right now. We need a damn plunger. Yep. That's what happens with that double team taking, run stuffing, gap clogging, old school wide body defensive tackle like Jonathan Hankins. Remember the Eagles did it too? They realized, they made all these moves in the offseason and somebody forgot about the damn plunger. They renovated the damn house, had a beautiful renovated bathroom, had new towels and brand new little decorative soaps and everything, and they forgot about the damn plunger, and the toilet started overflowing. And then somebody went, y'all got a plunger? It's like, we don't have a plunger. You don't have a plunger? Well, this beautiful bathroom is about to look like ish.
It's going to be terrible.
It's about to be terrible. It's about to stink like all you know what around here. And they decided we got to go get Ndamukong Suh. We got to go get Linval Joseph. Because remember, they had drafted Jordan Davis.
They did.
But he got hurt.
Got it. Yep.
And
injuries.
And that they lost their plunger. The fit hit the shan on them. Yep. Cowboys did the same thing, right? They realized, we built a really good defense. Our defense may be one of the best in the NFL, but they had one tragic flaw. They didn't have a plunger. They didn't have that one wide body D tackle that could take a double team and that could clog the hole. And they did. We got to go get Jonathan Hankins. They went and got Jonathan Hankins, and the defense was great.
Yep.
They needed that. They need to have that guy. Every defense in the NFL needs that piece. That's why Keandre Coburn, some team may decide, you know what? I'm going to draft a Keandre Coburn. I'm going to draft me a plunger. I need a couple of them. I'm just going to have a couple of them. Whenever we need them, we'll have that. Now, you don't need it for every down because the NFL is too much for passing down to put that guy on the field for every down. But situationally, matchup-wise, you definitely need that player. The Cowboys rushing yards allowed with Jonathan Hankins, 3.6. Without Jonathan Hankins, 4.5. Big difference.
Yeah. Huge difference.
Big difference.
Huge.
Yeah.
It was huge.
Yeah, so I hope they get that done. But if not, like I said, guys like Keandre Coburn or Amora Ojimo fits it too.
Yeah.
Because he's a versatile player that can play inside, can play outside. We know Dan Quinn loves positionless players. So like I said, either one of those players we just mentioned, all of them are draftable prospects coming out of Texas. I think the Cowboys could use any of them. I think this might be one of those years where you see a Longhorn become a Cowboy. It's rare.
It is so rare. Like every Cowboy, what was it? Jeff Swain was the one that was drafted by them. Mm-hmm. And then you also look at Connor Williams. He was drafted by the Cowboys.
That's true.
Malik Jefferson is on the practice squad, but he wasn't drafted by the
Famously
Cowboys.
traded for Roy Williams.
Yep, traded for Roy Williams.
Big trade for Roy Williams.
Leonard Davis.
Big Lynn.
Yep, Leonard Davis came there.
Yes, you're right. It's not many, but
they're not drafted.
They're not drafted.
They're not drafted. They could come and play for us, but we're not drafting you, which is crazy because y'all are so similar.
But remember, I think now, that's a good point. Maybe they just didn't like the types of players that were coming out of the culture here at Texas back in the day.
Time,
But now there's a new culture here at Texas. Dan Quinn has been here on the 40 acres, right? He was the one that came to the coaches convention to speak.
Yep.
Right? Was that a couple of years ago before Shano? So he's been here, and there could be some, some interest now from the Cowboys just because Dan Quinn's bringing in a new type of evaluation with the Cowboys.
It wasn't Sark on his staff at one point?
Sark was on his staff. Very good point. That's even a more direct tie.
Yeah.
No question about it. So I think this year could be the year. I don't say that. I don't think I've ever said that. Actually,
you have not.
That the Cowboys are going to end up drafting
as long as I've known you,
no, I have not said that. And so I do think this year could be the year. Anyway, all right, let's get to some other stories here because there are a ton of NFL news, notes, and nuggets to get to. Okay, let's talk about the Lamar Jackson thing. Then we'll get to the Aaron Rodgers stuff too. There's an Aaron Rodgers update we got to get to. But the latest Lamar Jackson update. So first of all, even after his trade request earlier this week, no team still has been reported to have genuine interest in Lamar Jackson. We have not yet heard that. That has not been reported by anybody. So that in itself still probably one of the most bizarre parts of this Lamar Jackson story. But like I said, we seem to get stranger and weirder with this Lamar Jackson story every report. This one is the strangest. So according to Albert Breer, Meek Mill, the rapper, who is close with Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots.
I think he got him out. I think he tried to get him out of jail.
He did advocate for him to get out of prison. He has several stories about Meek Mill riding in the private jet with Robert Kraft. So they've been friends for a really long time, actually. I mean, genuinely close. All right. And so I guess Meek Mill texting with his friend, with his dog. All right. Robert Kraft. Albert Breer's reporting this, that Robert Kraft told reporters, I'll just read the tweet verbatim, so I'll get myself in trouble. Patriots owner Robert Kraft said Meek Mill texted him 3 or 4 days ago saying Lamar Jackson wanted to come to New England. Kraft responded, that would be Bill Belichick's decision. What the hell is going on in this Lamar Jackson story now? Now we got Meek Mill. He's working the back channeling for Lamar Jackson. First it was Ken Francis who was calling out of nowhere. No, seriously, think about this. Think about the layout, the chapters of this Lamar Jackson story, and you really have to believe, like I said, they're becoming more and more bizarre. The NFL's got to love this, by the way. This is E. Hogan always brings up the quarterback days of our lives. Man, this quarterback drama right now is at an all-time high. It really is the NBA-ification of the NFL.
You said it.
I mean, we talked about Tom Brady trying to become the Jackie Moon of the Miami Dolphins last offseason for a while. Aaron Rodgers this offseason coming out of the darkness retreat to decide whether he wants to play football or not. Listen to the Lamar Jackson updates we've got in just, I don't know, this is probably in the last 3-4 months. Acting as his own agent, which is rare. There's 17 players in the NFL. I did the research. 17 out of the 2,000-something players that act as their own agent. Only 17. He is easily the most high profile of those people. Everybody else is kind of, they're not Jackson jabronis, but, they're not as big time as Lamar Jackson.
Thank you.
So we all thought that was a little strange. Like, that's kind of weird, but you know what? To each his own. Lamar Jackson doing his thing. And then, remember the reports about whether he wanted a fully guaranteed deal? They were so random and chaotic that even ESPN, all right, the worldwide leader in sports, they contradicted themselves.
Thank you.
Multiple times. Their own network contradicted themselves multiple times about whether he actually wanted a guaranteed deal or not. First, they initially said he did one. It was Adam Schefter and Chris Mortensen said he wanted a fully guaranteed deal. And then Stephen A. Smith came out and said, hey, my source to say he doesn't want a fully guaranteed deal. And then they had another source that came out later on after that said, yes, it was Jamison Hensley. He does want a fully guaranteed deal. Even the worldwide leader in sports couldn't follow this thing without getting their head all turned around. And then we got the report that Lamar Jackson was teasing and hiring a production company because he did want to do an in-depth interview, a true in-depth interview, and put himself on the hot seat. Yes, an interview with himself.
Looking
Lamar Jackson,
in the mirror.
Interviewing Lamar Jackson. No, that's real. That is not a fake headline. That is not some Onion story. That's real. He was going to interview himself. That's how crazy it got. And then we heard the story about the non-certified rep.
Ken Francis.
The non-certified rep who had been reaching out to teams on behalf of Lamar Jackson. No, right now, we don't know it's Ken Francis. At that time, that's another bizarre headline.
Yeah.
Then it comes out later on that it's indeed Ken Francis.
What does he sound like, Patrick?
Is Ken Francis?
Remember, and Tom Pelissero describes it as such. Ken Francis is a Florida man who most recently was pitching home fitness invention, I'm told. He is now trying to negotiate a 9-figure contract with NFL teams who are being told they're not allowed to negotiate with him because he's not a certified NFL agent. And then we had Lamar Jackson dispute that report himself, saying, stop lying, that man never tried to negotiate for me. Ken Francis says he also did not make those calls. That wasn't me, says Ken Francis. He said that in also a report that he was not the guy making the calls. So now there's some other mysterious person making these calls on behalf of Lamar Jackson, and we have no idea who it is. All right? Those are all recent developments in this story. And probably the most bizarre of all those recent developments is that a 26-year-old MVP caliber quarterback in his prime decided to make himself, to make himself readily available for 2 first-round picks. Matter of fact, they put a non-exclusive franchise tag on him. 2 first-round picks and crickets. Matter of fact, there are more NFL teams came out to say we don't want him, rather than any to come out and say they're actually interested in him.
This is ridiculous.
Crazy. We never like, what the hell is going on? And now this has to be among the most bizarre of these stories so far, is that Meek Mill, the rapper, yes, the rapper, one of the BFFs of Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, has said now Lamar Jackson would love to be a New England Patriot. Come on, man.
Well, the thing that really drives me nuts with this entire story is all these teams that have been looking for quarterbacks don't want to talk to Lamar Jackson for what he's been able to do in his career. Bill Belichick said he was probably one of the worst game planning people to go against because you didn't know how to train against him.
It was tough,
you didn't know. You couldn't get the speed of the game against him. Here's the other part of it. You're going to tell me that Sam Howell and Desmond Ridder are better quarterbacks than Lamar Jackson? It is utterly ridiculous when teams say we don't want to negotiate with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, to your point, has even said, I'm not looking for a fully guaranteed contract like that. I don't need those numbers anymore. I want out now. Because these people have disrespected me to the point now that there is no return. That's the biggest thing for me. And for a team like Atlanta and a team like Washington to say, I'm going to roll with Sam Howell and Desmond Ridder,
Sam Howell,
I'm cool with it. Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No.
You are lying through your face right now because you obviously don't want to try to win. It just makes no sense at all that people are actually having this conversation.
Yeah, actually, to Harge's point, Atlanta came out to reiterate. Remember, they initially were one of the teams that said they had no interest in Lamar Jackson when the non-exclusive franchise tag was placed on him. They have now come out and reiterated that. Arthur Smith saying Desmond Ridder is a Falcons starting quarterback of the future. Detroit, Dan Campbell was asked about any pursuit of Lamar Jackson and says, we have our quarterback. Washington's GM, Martin Mayhew, who actually was on the front office when I was with the Detroit Lions, so he's a great guy, but making a bad move here, in my opinion. He says that they are out on Lamar Jackson as well.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and I think I like Martin Mayhew, but I think he's making a dang coaching mistake because I still don't understand how the option of them having Sam Howell is better than the Lamar Jackson option, but I guess he says it is. But anyway, and now Joe Douglas, the Jets, their GM, he is the latest to say that also the Jets are basically, he is saying that it would be almost a conflict for them to pursue both Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
And almost claiming that it would be unethical for them to pursue both. I just think it's responsible. I think it's front office malpractice essentially for you to just put all your eggs in the basket of Aaron Rodgers. We'll give you an update on that soon, but I'm nothing against Aaron Rodgers. I think he's great, but you need a contingency plan in case he decides, what, screw all this. I want to go chill out and smoke weed and ayahuasca in Hollywood with some starlets and kick it. And he could easily do that. He's thought about it every offseason for the last 5 offseasons.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him, by the way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's not necessarily the attitude you want for a guy you're going all in on.
Right.
I'd rather go all in on a guy like Lamar Jackson who's like, I got to prove to the world.
Thank you.
That I am as good as really everybody thought I was when I won the MVP. That I'm better than that.
Hello.
That I'm a championship Super Bowl caliber quarterback.
That's the craziest part about it, man. It's just like, what are we looking at? Like, what is going on that teams are not even entertaining the conversation about Lamar Jackson? That, to me, just tells you everything you need to know about this league.
The Colts are.
Okay.
Chris Ballard, the GM,
at least he's the one that
he said a great player like Lamar Jackson. Anytime there's a great player available, we will do our research and our due diligence. He said that we'll do that for every great player, and Lamar Jackson is one of those. So, and there are reports from Sports Illustrated that the Colts have been in town in Baltimore.
Yeah.
That their execs have been there in Baltimore, and there are a lot of people that believe if anybody's going to make a move, that it will be the Colts. And by the way, Jim Irsay, just talking about the coaches real quick before we get to Harsh Knock Life, Jim Irsay say money ain't a thing.
Right.
Jim Irsay, and remember, Jim Irsay has had the highest paid player in the NFL twice. He had it with Peyton Manning, and he also had it with Andrew Luck. He's had it twice. And here's the Stephen Holder report. He covers the Colts regarding Lamar Jackson. It says Jim Irsay was emphatic. The money is not a problem.
Right.
But instead took issue with the draft capital / compensation.
Which everybody would. I could understand that part of it, but that don't mean you got to go out there and publicly say, I'm not even looking at them. I could understand if you're saying, I don't want to give up that kind of pick because of that. Okay, I get that. Then say that. Like those people that you just mentioned. I understand that. And then it'll change the entire conversation of it all. But don't say, we're not even looking at them.
Yeah, that's irresponsible.
That's very irresponsible.
I'd fire my GM. Like, you ain't looking at him. That's
Like,
your job.
You're supposed to look at every player that you think can help us win.
And then come to me as the owner and go, all right, this is why he's not worth it for us.
Exactly.
Like, okay, good
All
job.
right, then we can do that. But don't publicly go out there and say, nah, we good.
Unless you've already decided behind the scenes that you are not interested in that.
Still put the conversation out there because then everybody starts looking another way because you're creating news cycle.
Well, my point is, unless they were colluding.
They definitely are. I'm not putting that past you.
All right, what you got coming up in Hard Knock Life?
Well, baseball season is upon us. We're going to have Chipper Jones on tomorrow, but I wanted to talk about some of the awards that we went through last year and who I think can double it up coming up this year.
All right, we'll get into that coming up. Hard Knock Life. You don't want to miss it right here on Ball Don't Lie on 104 Now the Horn.
Welcome back to a Top of the Charts Tuesday edition of Ball Don't Lie. It's your boy Hardball Hard. You can follow me on Twitter at Hardball Hard. You can follow my man Rob Babers at Rob Babers. And, of course, he's back, our man Patrick Davis. And you can follow him at It's Patrick Davis. We also love it when you're a part of the show. Hit us up on the Specs text line, 512-337-3776. It is hilarious, the folks that have been hitting us up on the Specs text line. Hey, if you're gonna be laughing at me talking about the Blue Chew, you make sure you get you some of that thing, and let's see who has the last laugh, if you know what I'm talking about. I want to talk a little bit about baseball because opening day is right around the corner, and also you need to get out to the Round Rock Express this Friday. They open up the series and the season Friday night, so get out there. Fireworks and everything's going to be involved. But here's something that I wanted to talk about. Originally, I was going to break down all the MLB awards from last year, and since we're going to have Chipper Jones on tomorrow, I'm going to save that because we had a conversation earlier this year about billionaires and how Major League Baseball doesn't have a billionaire yet because we've seen other sports. We've seen hip-hop artists become billionaires because of some deals that they did away from just the music, but they got involved with other things. And I wanted to bring this up because Forbes had this article that came out just, yesterday, I believe it was, and it was talking about the highest paid players in the game and where they're making their money, whether it's on the field or off the field. Because we've all talked about the marketability. It's baseball. You get to see baseball players more than you get to see football players because they play every single day. So you get a chance to see them on your TV. You get a chance to see possible commercials and different things to enhance who they are, right? So it came out. I'm going to go from the bottom to the top, and I want to tell you who the top 10 players are as far as financial and what they make on the field and what they make off the field. Nolan Arenado, the third baseman, he comes in at number 10. He's the third baseman for the St. Louis Cardinals. He makes $35 million on the field, and he makes $200,000 off the field. Okay, but his on-field kind of puts him at number 10 for the single season. This is strictly for 2023. This is not anything else that is involved with it. This is strictly 2023. Okay. He comes in at number 10. Believe it or not, at number 9, a Texas Ranger player comes in. We've been talking about the high dollars that they spend on their middle infield, and one of the middle infielders, Corey Seager, makes $35 million on the field. And off the field, he's making $1 million. So he's making some money off of his endorsements and some different things that are involved in it. Number 8, $37 million, Carlos Correa with the Minnesota Twins.
You like that, baby.
I know that's right.
He finally got his money.
Finally got his money. He went to 5 different teams before he finally got. And what did he do? Ended right back where he started at. You know what I'm saying?
I guess maybe that was the plan all along. Maybe that was the plan.
So he makes $36 million on the field
and that's
this year.
He's number 8?
He's number 8.
Okay.
$36 million on the field, and he makes $1 million off of the field. And some of that is part of Nike following his time signing with Nike, following his time with Adidas. So now he's a Nike athlete, so he's making that money. Number 7, $36.5 million is Garrett Cole, former Astro as well, Rob.
Okay.
$36 million on the field and $500,000 off the field.
Okay, so they just combined the two.
They're combining
he makes less money off the field, though,
Yes.
than the previous, than 9 and 8.
Yes.
Because they were making $1 million.
They were making $1 million
Okay.
off the field.
All right.
Yeah. So here's the other one. Anthony Rendon. Remember, we talked about him when he ended up going from the Washington Nationals to the Los Angeles Angels, Anaheim Angels at Los Angeles. We were wondering how he was going to be. He's making $38 million on the field.
Nice.
This season, $38 million, and he's only making $200,000 off the field. That's crazy.
That is
when
crazy.
you think about it, the endorsements. But we're trying to figure out what can we do to get these guys involved. Mike Trout, $35.5 million on the field, $4 million off the field. And he has long-term deals with Nike and Body Armor. And he's also been announced that he is partnering with Tiger Woods to bring a golf course to his hometown in New Jersey.
All right.
So he's working with Tiger trying to do that.
Yeah, no, that makes $4 million. So that's the highest number so far off the field.
Off the field. Wait till you get to number one, brother. Your boy, Justin Verlander, he's making $44.3 million total. He's number 4.
A lot of ex-Astros out here.
Exactly. They all went to the market, right?
They won this World Series and they went to the market.
So now he's making $43.3 million on the field, and he's making $1 million off the field.
Okay.
So now he's trying to figure out, okay, what can I do? I'm doing all this other stuff. Let me make some more money. Aaron Judge, Mr. New York. New York Yankee. He's going to make $40 million this year on the field. He's going to make $4.5 million off the field this year.
It's the most so far. Makes sense to Yankees.
And again, he's a Jordan guy too.
Yeah.
He's a Jordan guy. So he's got his Jordan brand that he's making all that money with.
Jumpman.
Let's get that money. Max Scherzer. Check out his number. He's making $59.3 million. $58.3 this season on the field.
That's crazy.
He's making $1 million off the field. And he's also he deferred some of his payments as well, but he's got a chance to make a ton of money. But this year, Scherzer has $75 million more money, deferred money that is coming in through 2028. So he's getting deferred money. But this is the number one overall highest paid player in the game for the 2023 season. He's going to make $65 million this season in 2023. He's going to make $30 million on the field. He's going to make $35 million off the field.
Damn.
Shohei Ohtani.
Ooh.
Shohei Ohtani has now become the highest paid player in baseball this season. He's got an NBA. He's got an NBA signature shoe. Basically, he's got it with New Balance, and those numbers are going to continue to soar.
Oh yeah.
So
like we saw the World Baseball Classic.
Exactly.
Out of all those star players, there's an argument that he had more star power internationally than all of them.
And it happened even more so because of the biggest stage that he was on.
Yeah.
And he came through at the biggest time.
He doubled his Instagram followers during the World Baseball Classic. Now has more Instagram followers than any player in Major League Baseball history.
Yes.
And that didn't take him long. This is a guy that hasn't even really been able to kind of perfect his English.
Not at all.
And as he obviously is more exposed to the culture and having more marketing opportunities, man, once they get past that little impediment, oh man, he's got to be a beast. And it's so good for the game. They need a player like that.
They definitely
who's
need a
recognizable.
Yes, everybody knows.
Everybody
him.
knows who he is. His name is
Exactly.
recognizable. His talent is extraordinary and undeniable. But also, man, Shohei Ohtani, you know who he is.
Yep, exactly. And you know who the second highest paid player off the field endorsements was last year, and it was Bryce Harper, and he was getting $6.5 million off the field. And now the second highest player off the field is Aaron Judge with $4.5 million that he's making. Now, all those numbers come in before you have to pay all your taxes and you have to pay your agent fees and everything else that goes involved with it. But those numbers are definitely something that you're looking at and saying, wow. He's got, and this just so y'all can understand exactly what Shohei's about, he's got 13 partnerships in Japan, pharmaceutical company. He's got the watch company, Seiko. He's got Boss, Hugo Boss.
There you go.
He's got Fanatics. He's got Tops, and he has continued that line of New Balance shoes that he has as well. So he is definitely somebody that is marketable and has now become the face of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and he's young.
He's definitely young.
If he can just, obviously continue to play at an elite level,
28
high level.
years old.
Yeah, for the next 5-6
Well,
years.
some of these guys are getting 10-year contracts that they're 30 years old already. So Shohei is going to be in the mix. And not, like we talked about before, I know a lot of people don't understand that, but he is the modern-day Babe Ruth. Mm-hmm. He's the must-see. You know how RT said, we are the show? He is the show.
He's must-watch television.
He is definitely
He's
most
bringing
watched
in a different generation of baseball fans now.
Yeah.
And, I think it's great for the game. And I'll say I don't know if he's thinking about leaving the Angels, but man, it'd be good for baseball if he did.
No doubt.
They need him playing in the playoffs. This is
they
all
do.
without him being a postseason presence at all.
Yeah,
Imagine if he played in the
oh
postseason.
My goodness. Imagine if they get to the World Series.
They were a championship contender.
Yes.
How much money he'd be worth, or the value
because most
of his
novices
brand
only
would be.
watch it when it's the World Series. Everybody always says, I don't really watch baseball until the playoffs start.
My hands
well,
up.
by that time, Shohei's not there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Missing out on the show.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I think that he should. I think he should consider leaving the Angels. I don't know how loyal he is to him, but when is he a free agent next season? Right?
Yeah, he's ready to move.
It's time in Major League Baseball.
Unless you're gonna make him Disney. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they need him, and I don't know what's going on. Like I said, that's one of the biggest
He'll probably end up in New York.
One of the biggest unsolved mysteries in sports is how can the Angels have the two best baseball players on the planet, arguably, and be so bad?
Exactly.
How is that possible?
Because you need 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of them.
You got the two best on the planet potentially. It should be easier.
He pitches one day. You get him. You only get him on the mound one day, and you get 5 at bats.
They should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, they get 10 at bats a day between the two of them.
The Angels should be ashamed of themselves
definitely,
as an organization.
Yeah, I agree.
Shame.
I agree.
I wish I had that bell they had in Game of Thrones. Shame.
Shame on him.
Shame
on him.
All right, good Hearts Knock Life there. Yeah, I mean, now we're talking about who's going to be the first billionaire former player from baseball. Hell, Derek Jeter.
Yep.
You heard they're on that list somewhere.
Yeah.
Derek Jeter's on that list, but he's probably the one I would add to there. But it's probably going to start with that group. Derek Jeter and maybe A-Rod.
A-Rod was the one that I was thinking about.
But A-Rod is so unpopular now. I know he's recognizable, but a lot of people want their brands associated with A-Rod. Not like they do Derek Jeter. So I don't know how close he is to it, but Shohei, man. If Shohei stays on the pace he is, and he's going to get paid in, $70 million or whatever he is going to get once he's a free agent, yeah, maybe he'll be well on his way too. It is interesting that all that guarantee, the reason that the NBA and Major League Baseball players produce billionaires, they get so much guaranteed money to start off.
Sure.
The NFL is so far away from it. Tom Brady may be closing in on it somewhere before the crypto crash. Probably hurt his overall wealth, and the divorce probably hurt his overall wealth.
Ooh.
So it's tough for football players. I don't know when a football player is going to get close to getting there. But, basketball's already got their billionaire player, multiple. Actually got LeBron and MJ. And
I think KD's on his way.
KD might be on his way.
Yeah.
Baseball should have been there. Baseball's old money. Baseball should have been there already. They should have been had some guy become a billionaire as a former baseball player.
Yeah.
So that's a little, but it goes back to their issues with marketability and with them being able to market and commercialize their superstars. They don't do a good job of it.
Right.
That's a league thing. That's a league problem.
No
it's
doubt.
a league problem. It's a team problem, and it's an individual player problem. Look at Mike Trout.
There it is.
It's like, dude, you don't want the responsibility of being the guy. He is him. You don't want to be him.
He like, nah, I want to be.
You don't want to be him.
I want to be mixing in with the crowd.
You like, he is
I want
who?
to be able to go out and eat.
Yeah, he want to be he is who. No, he is him. Not he is who, Mike Trout. No, he is you, Mike Trout.
Net worth of A-Rod right now, from my last update, $350 million.
That's well, he's a little ways away from it then.
But isn't he buying into the
He's
Timberwolves?
buying in. Yeah, he is part of the T-Wolves ownership.
I know they just made another huge payment today.
That helps them.
Yeah.
No, the team ownership helps because it's like a little mini ATMs.
Yeah, it is.
No doubt. All right, we come back. We got Off the Record on the other side right here on Ball Don't Lie. I want to 49 the horn. Hey, what's up, folks? Lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers here. Let me tell you about my friends over at Apple Leasing. We know that time is money, and so do my friends at Apple Leasing, so they want to save you both. They're going to save you time, save you money, and find you tremendous value. The car market right now, let's be honest, it's a bit of a labyrinth. It is crazy. It is one of the most confusing, one of the craziest car markets we've had in a long time. That's why Apple Leasing is on your side. They'll walk you through every step of the process to help you find the car you want and to get the price and the payment you want. That's what they do. They have your best interest at heart. That's why Apple Leasing has been around for a long, long time, helping out folks find the car they want, the price they want, and the payment they want. That's what they have the ability to do. All it takes is one phone call or one click on Apple Leasing's website, and you'll get a quote on any make or model vehicle that you want. They can even give you an estimate on the value of your trade-in right over the phone. See, Apple Leasing has a simple interest, easy lease, and it makes things, well, simple because it gives you more flexibility, which is going to give you more possibilities and options to help you find the vehicle that fits you best, but more importantly, the vehicle that fits your budget best, because inflation is out of control. We all know it's through the roof. It's never been more expensive to buy a new car, buy a used car, buy anything for that matter. So leasing makes more sense than ever. You're only paying for the part of the car you're actually using. So if you're a baller on a budget like me, you got to appreciate the way Apple Leasing does business. So give them a call, 512-346-9977, or visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com. All right, welcome back to Ball Don't Lie right here on 104.9 The Horn. Time for another edition of Off the Record. All right, gentlemen, 26-year-old Alexandra Davis, the alleged love child of one Jerry Jones, filed a federal defamation suit against the owner, Jerry Jones, on Monday, alleging basically that Jerry Jones, Cowboy spokesman, and other people alleged that three men initiated a deliberate plan to portray the billionaire's own daughter as an extortionist and a shakedown artist. Alexandra Davis, who a congressional aide, sought recognition as Jones's daughter in a lawsuit filed last year that indicated Jones paid her $375,000 to set up two trusts to conceal that he was her biological father. The new lawsuit states that in the weeks after Davis's March 22, 2022 filing, Jones and his representatives waged a public campaign attacking her character based knowingly on false statements and accusations. Davis's latest lawsuit filed in Texarkana, Texas. Federal court names three defendants: Jones, his longtime Arkansas lawyer and friend Donald T. Jack Jr., and Jones's outside communications consultant Jim Wilkinson. Davis is seeking an unspecified amount of money in punitive damages. There you go. Boom. So he's being sued by her again. Remember, she initially sued him because she wanted acknowledgement and then I think wanted some type of financial compensation for him hiding the fact that he was her father. And remember, Jerry Jones has been paying money. Jerry Jones claims they've paid upwards of $3 million to Alexandra Davis's mother over the years to support the family financially or to take care of his responsibilities as the father. So they're acknowledging essentially that he at least is responsible in somewhat for her, but now she wants further compensation now that she's 18. She's like, I didn't sign that document. My mama signed that document. My mama made her own decisions. I am not my mama. I'm my mama's daughter.
That's
so you
right.
need to sign a deal with me, Jerry.
And Jerry's over there saying, I'm that baby pappy. I'm the pappy.
He's not. I don't think
He's
there's
not denying it.
no denial at all
Yeah.
that he is the father. But I think the conundrum here is when does when does the responsibility, the obligation to financially support her run out?
Yeah.
She's 26 now.
Well, I don't think it's more of the financial obligation. I think what's ended up happening is the recognition, and she wants to be able to come to the family dinner. She wants to be invited to the cookout.
You think that's what it is?
Yeah, she's trying to figure out why you gonna keep me in the closet. As you said, my mama signed them. I want my daddy's records. I want to be back over there. Blind Mellow Jelly.
How do you think his wife feels about her trying to get to the family reunion and hang out?
He already knows.
I know she already knows, but she don't want to be confronted with it at her family get-togethers with Jerry Jones's infidelity. She's like, no, Jerry, take care of that. Pay them people their money, all right? But
Fair.
don't bring her around here in my family. This is my family.
Yeah.
That's how women think.
Oh.
I'm not saying that's how I feel. That's how women would sell me. How they feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, also, like, you don't want to be like, hey, I just want to hang out, so I'm going to sue you a couple times.
Yeah.
I just want to drag your name through the mud as much as I can, Jerry. I want to try and ruin your reputation as much as I can. I just want to take all of your money and leave you in a ditch, Jerry, but I just want to be part of the family.
I just
No,
want to
I
be
want
part
to
of it.
That's a good point. You can have it both ways.
No.
If you want the family or
She
you
wants the
don't.
money. She wants the connection. She probably wants a job with the Cowboys. She just wants – I get it. You want to get hooked up because it's your bloodline, but
Do you
she's
think she
26.
was the
He don't
one
owe
who,
you nothing no more.
Do you think
26.
she was the one who ran into Jerry over there on Harry Hines? Do you think that was her saying, I finally got it?
No, that's her. No, she ain't in the wheel yet. You can't be
that's
hurting
true.
Jerry. You ain't in
That's
the wheel.
true. That's right. You gotta get into the
all this
wheel.
is trying to get in the wheel.
Yeah.
I think this is always like, listen,
Oh,
Jerry.
that's a big one.
Jerry, do whatever you want. Can you just
Good
leave me
point.
a little something in the wheel?
Good point.
That's what I want.
That's where we're at now.
And this is how much is Jerry worth? $13 billion.
He's worth a lot.
Jerry,
Yeah.
give your love child $1 million and say, would you sign this? I'll give you $1 million. She was a White House aide, I think, at one point.
Yep.
She just don't want
She
to.
already seen Scandal.
She don't want to worry about money
Yeah.
for a while. Give
Yeah.
the girl $1 million. It won't hurt you, Jerry.
Man,
The
that's
only
a great point.
The only thing that may be holding this up is Jerry's kids, who also, that's their money. They thinking, hey, that's my money.
11 billion.
11 billion. So, but he's got a lot of kids and grandkids who are like, that's my money, by the way, Jerry. Don't be giving her my money. That's all so the family don't want him to give away the money because they think that's their money. And I guarantee you, Mama, she don't want to see this love child around the family get-togethers and stuff either. She don't want to be reminded of that.
That's right.
So Jerry, you should have paid for her just to go away. This is on Jerry. This is on Jerry.
Great.
Jerry should have said, "Oh no, what you want? What you want? You want a job? You want what you want? You want anything within reason?
I want to be able to use the plane anytime. I want to use the helicopter.
You got it.
Yeah.
We'll give you once a year. How about that? You get one weekend with the PJ. Good for you. You want to be on the yacht? Okay, how about this? We'll bring you up for one weekend on the yacht. We'll write in contract. One yacht weekend, one PJ weekend for you, and we're going to give you $1 million. Will you shut the... Now, will you shut up now?
Me.
Yeah, that's all it'll take.
Yep.
And then you want me to publicly acknowledge you? Just go out and say, hey, you know what? When I was young, I did some things that, right now I probably wouldn't do at my senior age with all the wisdom I have. And don't acknowledge it, but don't disown her either.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. That's a good point.
What's taking so long?
You know what's taking so long. Court.
Well, why are you in court, Jerry?
Hey.
You got $13 billion. That solves a lot of problems, especially problems with baby mamas and love childs. The biggest issue with baby mamas is money. You got a baby mama that you gave her money and she shut up. Now the daughter wants money. Give her money and shut her up.
Me and Mrs. Jones, that's what somebody said, right?
That is true. Yeah, she definitely wants to be down with the family. Yep. And does she have kids? Does she have a child?
I don't know.
Because that's big too. Because she probably wants her kid to have family access.
That's a great point.
If I was her, I'd be like, listen, I want my kid to have family access. That's it. I want my kid to be a part of the family. I don't need to be a part of the family.
And she was part of a reality show.
Oh,
remember, she was part of the reality show.
Damn, she has been getting around.
Right.
She was a White House aide and a reality TV show.
Right.
Good Lord, this woman gets around.
Did she hang out with your boy Nordrum?
She been busy.
Yeah, up in Dallas area, most eligible.
Oh, man. All right. Enough for talking about Jerry Jones' love child. We'll come back. We'll get into Rodney Terry's introductory press conference. We'll play some bits of audio from the head coach, and we'll also talk about Texas baseball. Big game tonight. All of that and more right here on Ball Don't Lie. Wonderful Down the Horn. Well done. Top of the charts Tuesday. Playing jams. I reached the top of the Billboard charts on this day in history. I will admit, Man in the Mirror, one of my all-time favorite Michael Jackson jams.
Mine too.
I even use the term Man in the Mirror moment all the time.
Yeah.
Because I love the song. Great song. Great choice by Patrick.
I'm going to make a change in my life.
Yeah.
Right there.
No, it is.
Starting with the Man in the Mirror.
The lyrics are poetic and powerful.
Yep.
I love
agree.
it. No, I'm a big fan. I haven't heard this song in a long time, but now I might jam it in traffic as I pass through road ragers on 360 in Mopac, and they'll be like, why is he in a good mood? Giving me the finger, and I'm listening to Man in the Mirror saying, I got to be better. I'm taking the high road.
Because you'll say, because the choir just kicked in.
That's right.
How you not going to be smiling?
That's right.
That's right.
Oh, man. All right. Great job, my man Patrick. Glad to have him back as well. 512-337-3776. That is the number to the Specs text line. You also can hit us up via Twitter. My man Haraj at Hardball Haraj in the Twitterverse. I'm at Rod Davis in the Twitterverse, and my man Patrick Davis at It's Patrick Davis in Twitterverse. Remember, we're off early today. We're off at 5:45 for Texas baseball. As a matter of fact, before we get back into these Rodney Terry clips from his introductory press conference, and it was a great feel-good moment for Texas. We're going to go behind the burners curtain a little bit. My man Haraj, who's obviously he's plugged in, all right, one of the insiders for Texas baseball. Give us a little quick little preview of Texas versus Texas A&M.
Pain.
Well said. Well done. Nice timing there.
Yeah,
some people didn't get the reference.
Yeah.
You're not old enough if you didn't get the reference. Don't worry, it's okay. Ask your dad or mama about
That's
it in the
right.
car. Yeah.
That's right.
But no, I like. I hope so.
Yeah, this is one of those games, and thank you to CB for giving us the information about Texas and what they're up against, because Texas A&M has actually beaten Texas quite a few times and actually knocked them out of Omaha just recently.
4 times in a row. They've won the last 4 in a row.
Yeah,
7 of the last 10.
Yeah. So this is a big game regardless of the matchup, because it's Texas and Texas A&M. This is a big game just because you want to get on the right side of it. Texas is coming in with a 14-game win streak. A&M just lost 3 in a row to Texas, not Texas A&M, but to Tennessee, the other UT. So you're just trying to figure out what's next for this baseball team. You got LeBaron Johnson on the mound tonight. That is going to be a big start for him, because
he has started some big games already for Texas.
He started some.
He started
big
the LSU game, didn't he?
Yes, he did, and pitched well up until the very end of the game,
well.
and Texas ended up losing it. That was a game where you started to see this baseball team play a little bit different. You know, you start looking at Texas baseball and you're like, okay, here we go. This is a big, big series for them. And they went out there and played well against them. I mean, LSU's still the number 1 team in the nation. They're probably going to have 2 guys go 1 and 2. For Paul Skeens.
In the draft?
Paul Skeens and Dylan Cruz. Don't know which order it's going to be in. And there's a kid out of Florida that may go 1, 2, and 3. In the draft, because that's how much talent they have. But you sit here and you're looking at this game, Texas A&M, obviously Coach Schlossnagle, he's already came out early in the season and was very disappointed in the fan support and how they were booing. Remember? He was very
I do remember
upset.
they called out the fans.
He called them out. And this is a big test for the Texas baseball team. Like you said, a true road trip to Aggie land. So this is going to be big. This is a big game tonight. I know it's early in the season. Well, not that early, because everybody's both playing conference games. But you want to be on the right side of this heading into your weekend, because Texas is getting ready to go and play Oklahoma State this weekend. Another
on
road
the road,
test.
They that 14 straight games they've won, but they've done that in the friendly confines of UFCU in front of one of the best fans, best group of fans in the country, with Texas Longhorn fans, and they've gained a lot of confidence. You can tell. You talked about the improvement of the team, but now they got to go on the road, and arguably for the Longhorn specifically, just for the Longhorn brand, it'll be one of the 3 most hostile environments you could possibly face. It's like you're going to your rival. You're going to Aggieland. It's like either going to Oklahoma would be in that conversation too. Hell, I remember Longhorn fans talking about going to Arkansas a couple of years ago.
Man.
When you got to go to a rival's place, you know that is among the most hostile environments you're going to be in.
And you know it's going to be sold out.
And you know it's going to be sold out. You the show. What did Rodney Terry say?
We are the show.
We are the show.
Exactly.
Texas baseball, you are the show. So, yeah, it's going to be sold out. And they're coming off of a difficult series versus Tennessee.
Yep.
So they're going to have their minds focused, and they're going to come out with a, kind of a chip on the shoulder.
Yep.
And it'll end up being kind of a grudge match for them, as it always is, between
big test.
Texas and Texas A&M. So, yeah, big test for Texas baseball. Looking forward to seeing how they respond. That's why we're off early at 5:45. Let's get to Texas basketball here. Congratulations to Coach Rodney Terry. He was announced officially as the head coach of the Texas men's basketball team. Got a couple of cuts that we'll play, but let me remind everybody, if you want to hear the actually, there is an interview.
There is an interview.
There is an interview. But you want to hear the introductory press conference in its entirety, you can go to hornfm.com and go catch it there. As a matter of fact, shout out to Chad and Zay. Great show for them today. Zay has a really close relationship with Coach Terry. He actually calls him basically one of his mentors growing up was Coach Terry, because Coach Collier, who's longtime coach there. Oh, we got a Coach Collier story we got to get into.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we're gonna do that. Sorry, sidebar. We're gonna get into that because I got a bone to pick with Zay about it.
Yeah.
But Coach Collier, who coached there at Bowie for decades, he actually came on the show. It is during the 1 o'clock hour. If you want to go catch it on the podcast page there, great interview with him. I'm gonna go back and check it out actually when I get home. And he talked about how he hired Rodney Terry.
Yes, he
as
did.
well, way back in the day.
That's right.
So that's a really cool story. So go check that out. That's at hornfm.com, both the introductory press conference, but also the Coach Collier interview of him talking about his experience with Coach Terry as a young up-and-coming coach.
Yep.
All right, let's hear from Coach Terry. And Coach Terry was he was asked a lot of different things, but Brock Cunningham, I believe,
got the last question of the interview.
Yeah, and it was actually a really good question, too.
It definitely was.
Brock Cunningham probably has got a future in sports media if he so chooses. Well, Brock Cunningham, I believe the question is also in the audio here. He decided he wanted to ask Coach Terry a question.
Question from the team. What's the first thing you're going to do as the head basketball coach of Texas?
Man, Brock, that's a loaded question, right? You know what? First thing I'm going to do is I really want to sit down with our team. We hadn't had a chance to talk. I mean, I kind of gave you guys a farewell deal that night, when we talked about the season, but I hadn't had a chance to talk to you guys. These last 2 days being back, we hadn't had a chance to really sit down and visit about the year and tell you guys how much I appreciate you guys, the way you stayed the course and worked this season. That's the first thing I like to be able to do and express my gratitude and for what you guys did this season. And from there, I'll start working with some of our returners, you included, coming back next season, right? So that will be the first order of business for myself, along with sitting down and visiting with our staff.
All right, you go. Basically says he's a team guy. He's put the team first every time. Every time he gets a question in the postseason, he talks about how it's all about these guys, all about their experience. And then once again, first order of business, he wants to talk to the players.
Yep.
I'm sure he wants to thank them. I think he said that too, trying to show his gratitude, but also talk to him about his vision for the future.
No doubt.
And what Rodney Terry Texas basketball looks like. Oh, that kind of rolls off the tongue.
It was. It was easy, right?
Man,
he said that, wasn't even thinking about it. Just rolled.
It did just roll off the tongue. That's pretty easy there.
Yeah.
I wonder what his motto is gonna be. Yeah, it's like the team. All coaches have like a motto, some team motto, something like that.
Live where your feet are. I'm gonna live where my feet are. I mean, I just sat up there and looked at that team, Craig, and I was like, Craig, these guys work hard. And I just want them to continue to work hard. I'm going to be on them. I'm going to be on them, but I'm going to treat them like men.
Did your throat hurt after you do that?
No, man, it's good.
I got to tell you,
I got that natural rasp.
No, Rodney Terry's going to be around for a long time.
Oh, this is going to be great.
And so is Harge. Harge is going to be around for a while, man. And we got our own Rodney. We got to do a Rodney Terry interviewing Rodney Terry.
I'm going to do that.
We got to
be like Lamar Jackson interviewing Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, we got to get that done. But yeah, Coach Terry, the real Coach Terry, not Harge, just Coach Terry. He actually was asked a question about Kirk. Well, I thought it was a great question. It was actually one of the first questions. Did you feel like you needed to earn the job? And at what point did you feel like you had done enough to earn the job? Here is head coach Rodney Terry.
Well, I think from the very beginning, my first conversation with CDC prior to meeting with the team, and then once we made that decision that afternoon that I was going to be coaching the team, He gave me that whistle and, and said, hey, go earn this. Go earn it and go do the job that I know you're capable of doing. And, I met with our team and just said, hey, guys, you know what? We've got the whole season in front of us. None of our goals have changed. We've got a tough Rice team tonight we have to deal with. But we're going to control what we can control, and we're going to live where our feet are, and we're going to live in the present. And we're going to try to take care of business tonight, and we'll move forward from this. But, that was the message, and, again, having his support meant a great deal heading into that ball game that night.
And would you feel confident you'd done enough?
I felt confident the whole time, to be honest with you, Kirk. I mean, I prepared my whole life for this opportunity. I'm 7 years, 27 years Division I basketball coaching, 32 years of coaching, 5 years at the high school level. I'm a proud high school basketball coach in the state of Texas. We've got great basketball coaches, by the way, in the state of Texas. So I want to give a shout out to those guys as well. But no, you're prepared. I often tell our team and our players, so many guys want opportunities in life. You have to be prepared for opportunities. I was prepared for this opportunity. And, my time at Fresno, my time at UTEP have prepared me for this opportunity. Haven't had a chance to be here during some of the best seasons of Texas basketball. No one knows this place better than me in terms of, the landscape, how to be successful here at an elite level. And, I tried to convey that to our guys and what that took. I tried to bring back former players to convey that to our guys and embrace playing at the University of Texas. We're going to get everybody's best game, right, guys? Every night, right? We may watch some games and, we're preparing for teams and there's empty arenas a little bit. But we go to that arena, what's it going to be, guys? Sold out. They're coming to see Texas, right? They're coming to see us. We're the show, right? But we didn't embrace that. That's not arrogant. Okay, everybody can't coach at Texas. Everybody can't play at Texas. And, I've been here at the highest of highs. So I was very confident throughout the whole process, Kirk.
There you go. Pretty confident the whole process.
For sure. For sure.
He knew.
And so did Mr. Eltife, the Board of Regents. He kept telling CDC, hey, that's our guy. That's our guy. And CDC made reference to it, and he said that I had to tell him to calm down because we want to wait. Let's let it work out. Let's see what happens. Let's see what Coach Terry does. Let's see how he reacts. And he said he would walk into the locker room, and he would see the pastor up there talking to his team. His fellowship was going on. He was talking to the congregation every time he walked in there, and he said the post-game meetings lasted a little bit longer. And he realized that this was a leader of men in the way that he was going about it. And he said he knew since the Rice game. But he wanted to play it out. Yeah. He wanted to let it play out and see how he reacts in adverse situations. There was nothing more adverse than that night. And when he had to take that job because he had to get those guys ready to play the very next day, that morning. Mm-hmm. So he had to go to work, and those guys went to work, and that's exactly what happened when we was on a beautiful ride for the entire season. It was great stuff.
That's a good point about CDC saying he knew early on. Obviously, Kevin Eltife knew before that.
Yep.
And Rodney Terry saying, I knew when I got the gig. This is the moment I've been waiting for.
Exactly. I've been prepared.
I've been asking God for this moment, and I'm prepared for it.
That's right.
So it seems like behind the scenes, they were a lot more, and if you look at unanimity in terms of what direction they wanted to go, and that direction was Coach Terry. One other piece of audio I want to play for you before we get to the break for Rods Around the Day. Oh, and also, we got to get to this Coach Collier little nugget. I know my man Zay's been holding out on us.
Zay has been stalling us out,
and you know what? I wouldn't doubt if Zay's dad told him basically, do not spread this information about him, about Coach Collier. But my man Harge found it, doing some deep diving, doing some rabbit holing. So we'll get to that in just a second. But here is another piece of audio from the introductory press conference. Coach Terry was asked about his time at UTEP, time at Fresno State as the head coach there, and what lessons that he's going to use from those experiences and applying here with his new job here as the head coach at the University of Texas. Here's head coach Terry.
That's a great question. I think a lot of times the 10 years that I was a head coach there, you're literally just working so hard. And I went into situations where they were total rebuilds. And so, even as you got the program where you wanted it, you still were just fighting every day to continue to try to keep the program there. And I think I never really got a chance to enjoy it. You know, as you were building it and you had a level of success, you still just really didn't enjoy it. I had a lot of great mentors that I lean on every single day. Jerry Wainwright gave me an opportunity at Wilmington. Harry Miller gave me my first opportunity at Baylor University. You know, and obviously Rick. But those guys always said to me, "Hey, enjoy the moment, enjoy the ride." And it sounds a whole lot easier than they actually do. But having a chance to step back that 1 year, man, it put a lot of things in perspective. And I vowed to myself that if I got another opportunity to be a head coach, I was gonna be Rodney Terry. Guys called me RT, and they were gonna see a whole different side of me. I was gonna have fun. I was gonna enjoy every day. I was gonna smile. I was gonna not always, we're gonna coach hard, hold guys accountable. But I'm going to enjoy the process doing that. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to joke with my guys, and they get a chance to see the real RT. You know, some of my teams, early on, especially in Fresno and some at UTEP, didn't see the real RT. You know, because it was so driven hard in terms of, wanting to be successful and wanting the guys or wanting our teams to be really good. I don't think I got a chance to do that. But I said this time my demeanor was going to be totally different. I was going to be more poised, more calm, and handle our guys a lot differently in terms of being a leader. And I thank God for giving me that opportunity and giving me a chance to make that change. So that's been the biggest change for myself in terms of working with this team in particular.
All right, there's Coach Rodney Terry. I'm talking about how, basically his time as a head coach at UTEP and Fresno State has really, really, basically gotten him ready for this job. It has prepared him for this moment. And he also got into thanking some of the people who really, some of the key figures who had helped him out and given him opportunities and chances along the way. One of those people is Coach Collier, who is Zay's dad. Zay does a great job on Chad and Zay from noon to 3 right here on 104.9 The Horn, and they actually had him on during the 1 o'clock hour talking about how he gave Coach Terry one of his first coaching jobs as I believe he's like a freshman.
Yeah, he coached the freshman team, the head coach of the freshman team.
Yeah, Harge, we were talking about the interview, and then Harge was doing some rabbit holing and found what I think is really interesting information about Coach Collier, and now we have a bit of a bone to pick with Zay for not revealing this information to us earlier.
And not only not revealing it to us, not revealing it to anybody.
He's been holding out.
Yeah, he didn't
Zay's
even
been holding out on y'all guys.
Just so y'all know.
Give it to him, Harge.
Mr. Collier, Coach Collier, he was once the head coach at Southwest Texas State, but he also coached at San Marcos High School. And during his time as the head coach at San Marcos High School, do y'all remember the show Veronica Mars, obviously Dawson's Creek, and Drive Me Crazy? Well, not only that, this is an author, a producer, director, and a screenwriter of and he also co-developed 90210. He co-created Party Down and iZombie.
And who's this guy?
His name is Rob Thomas.
Okay.
And he was one of Coach Collier's players while he was at San Marcos High School. But it gets better. It gets even better. So in 2004, Bowie High School was selected as a filming location for the feature film The Quiet. The Bowie High School basketball team was chosen to act in the film, and Coach Collier was the head coach for Shawn Ashmore's team in the movie. So Coach Collier not only was coaching people that went on to create great shows, he was also in the film.
Wow.
In a movie.
Come on now.
And I need to find out if he has those credits.
Did he have a speaking role in this thing? Is Coach Collier on IMDb?
I want to see if he's got a SAG award.
Come on, man. Okay, Zay, I need details.
I'm mad at you, bro.
Tomorrow, Zay, we get this to Zay, guys.
Get it
the
to
Specs
him.
text line. We'll text him too. We need background on this story. I wish we would have known about this when they had Coach Collier on, that we probably could have texted and asked him about it.
Exactly.
But this is not some small time film either.
No, it's not. And it
Elisha
was
Cuthbert, she was in it. Eddie Falco was in it.
That's Edie.
Edie Falco
that's
was in
Nurse
it.
Jackie.
Yeah.
That's Tony Soprano's wife was in this thing.
Camilla Bell.
Camilla.
I mean, there's actually some actors you'd recognize in the
for
film.
sure.
Wow.
And Sean Ashmore, who, by the way, is one of your favorite people, Rob, because he's in the X-Men. He's an X-Men character.
Which character?
He's played roles as Bobby Drake, Iceman.
Oh, he was Iceman.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I do remember him now.
Yes.
He was. I do remember. He was in the school. He was in Professor Xavier's school.
There you go.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we just. My man Hard stumbled upon this. I have not seen The Quiet. I will admit, I've seen a lot of movies. I have not seen The Quiet.
Yep.
It is getting, let me see, what does it get? Let's see what the IMDb, check this out. All right, it is getting a 6 out of 10 on the IMDb.
Okay.
6.2, that's not bad. 21% Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, that's not
So
good.
Rotten Tomatoes doesn't like it very much. But sometimes Rotten Tomatoes know what the hell they're talking about, trust me.
That's true.
All right, so I got to check this out. I'm going to have to watch The Quiet somewhere.
You're going to have to. You're
I'm
going to be
check it out.
quiet watching it. You're going to be quiet
My wife's
watching
gonna be, why the hell are you watching this old movie?
Exactly,
I'm,
'cause I'm learning.
looking for Coach
I'm
Collier.
looking
on this
for
thing.
somebody.
I'm looking for a
That's
young
right.
Coach Collier.
And somebody
strutting
just,
around there.
And somebody just said Coach Terry was my 7th grade basketball coach and my typing teacher at Porter Middle School.
1990.
1990.
Man, he rose fast.
He was in the game, man.
That was quick.
He was in the game.
I mean, it's 33 years ago, and now he's already the head coach at Texas. Congrats to Coach Terry. Birthday was earlier this week, and I'm sure this is one of the best. Yesterday.
TJ's was earlier this week.
TJ Ford's was earlier
his
this week?
was on the 24th.
His grandfriend's was earlier this week. Not TJ, Coach Terry's girlfriend.
Yeah,
was
I'm
earlier this
be getting TJ in trouble.
yeah, right. He's like, hold on, man. Don't be saying that. My wife was listening. No, TJ is fine. Trust me. All right, we'll come back. As a matter of fact, we'll get our TJ Ford interview posted for you, too. My man Haraj reaching out into his contact list. Got the legendary Lifetime Longhorn to come on with us early in the show at 3:30. We come back. We're going to wrap it up and put it in the oven. But before we do that, we got to celebrate a very special sports-related birthday in Raj Rant of the Day. Right here on Ball Don't Lie, 104.9 Horn. Hey, what's up, folks? Lifetime Longhorn Rod Babers here. If you need somewhere to watch that Longhorn Aggie matchup, how about Twin Peaks? Man, it's a great sports bar. So much more than just a sports bar, but also the perfect sports bar to watch all your favorite teams and your favorite sports. Got TVs all over the place and one of my favorite menus in the city. It's a scratch menu. Every delicious dish on that menu at Twin Peaks is made from scratch. So if you're thinking about a new favorite spot for lunch, dinner, or those late night eats, don't forget about Twin Peaks. And also, don't forget about happy hour at Twin Peaks. Folks, the happy hour at Twin Peaks, it is fantastic. Monday through Friday, it's going on right now, 2 to 7 p.m. So go check out your local Twin Peaks. Got sweet deals like $1 off all wine, liquor, cheap shots, and freezing cold 29-degree draft brews. And if you're feeling a little peckish, a little snacky, don't worry. They also have select appetizers available for $2, $4, and $6. And if you're a bit of a night owl, like I said, don't forget about those late night eats at your local Twin Peaks. And like I said, if you're thinking about a new favorite spot for lunch, dinner, or those late night eats, man, Twin Peaks Net Scratch Menu, they are fantastic. So check out the TwinPeaksRestaurant.com website to find a Twin Peaks near you and to find out what these specials are at your local Twin Peaks. There's one near you, I guarantee you that. The Stassi location, San Marcos location, or the Round Rock location. That's Twin Peaks, Eats, Drinks, and Scenic Views. All right, don't have a ton of time, so I'm going to be quick here. Today is the birthday of Rick Barry. Rick Barry was one of the last players in the NBA to have the granny shot. What they call the granny shot, where you would basically shoot the ball by first your shot. The motion was actually you using the I don't know what he described. I think the underhanded squatting motion to shoot the ball.
Yep.
It's a weird one. You got to go Google it yourself. I probably did a terrible job describing it.
No, everybody does that when they play horse.
Yes, the granny shot.
Yep.
So Rick Barry once told Wilt Chamberlain that he could help Wilt Chamberlain with his game. Wilt Chamberlain famously made 54% of his shots from the field, 51% of his shots from the free throw line, third worst free throw shooting percentage in NBA history. But during the 1961-62 season, Wilt Chamberlain actually shot 63%, nearly 64% from the free throw line, but he was using the granny-style underhand free throw shot. And Rick Barry was the one that taught it to him and advocated, hey, man, use the granny-style shot. But during the 1967-68 season, Wilt Chamberlain basically had returned to his old free throw shooting style and was shooting a career-low 38% from the free throw line. And when they asked Wilt Chamberlain, why are you shooting, all right, your normal way of shooting when you were hitting a career high by shooting granny-style? You know what Wilt Chamberlain said was a reason that he'd rather miss more free throws than he hit, all right, by not using the granny-style free throw method? He said, I quote, I felt silly, like a sissy, shooting underhanded. He later wrote, I know some of the best foul shooters in NBA history shot that way. Even now, the best one in NBA, Rick Barry, shoots underhanded. I just couldn't do it. Shaquille O'Neal said the same thing years later. When they asked Shaquille O'Neal why he didn't use the granny-style shot, he said, I told Rick Barry I'd rather shoot 0% than shoot underhand.
Pride, baby.
Pride,
Yeah,
messing with
you.
Texas baseball, hey, baby, have Texas pride, not that kind of pride.
That's right.
Texas baseball coming up next. Craig Way on the call. Remember, the Revolution not be telling us, talk about it right here on Ball Don't Lie. We love you guys. We mean that. Take care of yourselves. One play. Take care of each other. Peace.